My name is Nancy Morris Judd, and I'm an educator here at the New Mexico History Museum. Our education team is dedicated to creating New Mexico social studies standards aligned resources for every teacher and student in every nook and cranny of the state. One such project that I want to share with you today is the New Mexico Historical Holiday Ornaments. This is the third year that we will have been doing this project, and it's really a way for students to demonstrate their learning about history. These projects can be adjusted for any age from essentially kindergarten through 12th grade. I'm going to show examples of all of those ages. And there is a PDF that accompanies this video, so everything I talk about will also be in the PDF. And we will need for you to send the ornaments to us by November 21st. The other thing I want to mention is that this program is a collaboration with the National History Day in New Mexico program. And if you are not familiar with them, they are a year-long academic program for a competition and research for students in grades 6 through 12. Students research and develop projects on historical topics of their choice related to annual themes. And this year's theme is Revolution, Reaction, and Reform in History. If you're participating in National History Day already, we encourage you to connect your ornament to one of these themes. And if you are not familiar with National History Day, I highly recommend it. It's a great project. You can find out more about it just by searching National History Day in New Mexico online, and you can learn all about it. So at this point, what I would like to do is I would like to share with you about how this project works. And there's essentially three parts to it. One is is doing the research, and the second is making the ornament, and the third is sending it to us so we can display it in our museum. We'll be putting them in our lobby, on the trees that are in our lobby, and in the Palace of the Governors. So as I mentioned, everything we do is really standards aligned. And so I pulled out one standard for each grade from K through 8 that I felt like this project relates to. But of course, there's actually many, many others depending upon the subject area and the focus of the students. Also, there's plenty of 9th through 12th grade standards it relates to, and of course the arts and language arts standards as well. So it all begins with the research, and students first need to choose either a person or an object or an event. They need to place it in time, figure out what the date is. Who were the people who were connected to this focus? So for example, were they Native Americans? Were they Spaniards? Were they from Mexico, or were they US settlers? Describe the event or person. And then what is the historical context? And I'll get to that in a second here in the next slide. And then lastly, what images or drawings will be used? Perhaps a map or a timeline would be useful. So this is another one of the resources we've developed over the last 3 years called the New Mexico Historical Timeline Worksheet. And it has all the different periods from starting with the First Peoples period through today. This is a 2-page document, and it invites students to put their objects or historical people or events into to draw it and to name it. And then again, who were the people who were here at that time, who were involved in that focus, and what is the historical context. And we share events and themes within each period. And I should just mention that this is something we use with students who come into our museum, but it also can be used in the classroom. You could, it could be like a virtual treasure hunt. You could come to our museum's web page, and we have some virtual exhibits there that students could utilize to fill this out, or even they could find historic markers in your area. They could even go to a classic car show or go look in their grandparents' attic, you know. Um, so this is a really powerful resource to use and can be used for this project as well. So once the research is all done, then it's time to make the ornaments. I'm going to give you examples of 3 different types of ornaments, and then you can definitely go off-road and use your creativity and you know, do whatever you want. So the first is a 2-dimensional single ornament where you create some stencils. On the next page I show you, here's some stencils that are in that PDF. And I would blow them up so they're about 4 to 6 inches big, and print them out on cardstock and cut them out so that students can trace around them and cut them out on whatever kind of paper they want to use. That being said, I would also say that, like, if a student is studying the history of the balloon fiesta, maybe they'd like to make their ornament in the shape of a hot air balloon, for example. Once the stencil has been created, then you transfer the research on there and tie a ribbon to it so it can hang on a tree. The next ornament is a 2-dimensional strand ornament. So with this one, students cut out various sizes of shapes and with different out of different colors of construction paper, and they make 2 of each one. So you can see on, let's say, the green circle, there's some yellow around the edge. Well, that's the yellow circle on the back of this one. And then they transfer their research onto the shapes and glue the backs, put glue on the back sides, take a long piece of ribbon, tie a loop at the top so it can hang from the tree, and then sandwich the ribbon between the 2 same size shapes. The last one I'm going to show you is a 3-dimensional strand ornament. With this one, you take 3 to 4 circles of different sizes, and then you transfer your research onto them, and then you fold them in half, put glue on the back side of them, get your ribbon with the loop on top, and put it in the middle, and then glue all 3 or 4 of the circle shapes together to make a little sphere, and then repeat that. Now, obviously, you could make a 3-dimensional single ornament as well if you wanted. So the point here is really like, here's some starting places, and then I'd love to see you take this and get as creative as you can. Some of the materials that you'll want to make sure you have and supplies are multicolors of construction paper, glue sticks, rubber cement, and glue gun, colored pencils, crayons, or markers, scissors, ribbon, string or yarn, sequins, definitely no glitter. please. This tree is in the Palace of the Governors, and this building is basically kind of like a historical object. It's 400 years old, and so even though we walk through it, we really try and take good care of it. And glitter is so hard to get up, so yeah, just hold back on the glitter. Thank you. You'll want to have some magazines, maps, scraps of wrapping paper or scrapbook paper, and then like some random three-dimensional objects like Legos or springs. Just have your kids go home and go through that family junk drawer and bring in items that might be fun to use to, um, yeah, make the ornaments more creative. And speaking of creativity, I wanted to share this example of what one of our teachers that's participated the last 2 years did. She had her students make wrapping paper. So they got boxes and they wrapped them with paper that had their research on it. So that was a lot of fun. So just as a reminder, please put them in the mail by the 21st of November. And this information about where to send them and how to get a hold of me, again, is in the PDF. So let me know if you have any questions. And I wanted to end by sharing with you the education page on the New Mexico History Museum's website. We have a lot of information here, a lot of resources. You can find out how to do field trips. There's information about our early childhood education program. You can find the timeline on here. Soon we'll be adding historical summaries for each of the time periods, and there's just a lot of resources on here. So I just want to thank you in advance for participating in this project, and I can't wait to see what you send me. So thanks a lot.